44th Daytona 500 is brought to you by Team Monte Carlo. The cars more champions depend on. Chevy, we'll be there. By Walmart, always low prices, always. By Wendy's Classic Hamburgers, it's Hamburger Bliss. And by Coca-Cola, official soft drink of NASCAR.
In the final start of his long NASCAR Winston Cup career, Dave Marcus given a ceremonial lap at the head of the field behind the pace car now. Then he'll drop back to his starting spot for the Daytona 500 in 14th position. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Bud Pole Award given to the fastest qualifier at each Winston Cup race. Rookie Jimmy Johnson gets the first pole of 2002 in only his 4th Winston Cup start. Since 1979, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $7 million as the title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program. And now the Walmart starting grid for the 44th Daytona 500. Johnson and Kevin Harvick sharing the front row. Harvick, last year's Rookie of the Year. Row number 2, the two winners of the qualifying races here Thursday. Jeff Gordon, the two-time 500 winner, and last year's race champion Michael Waltrip.
On the inside of row 3, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the 300-mile race yesterday afternoon, has won the last 2 plate races, and Tony Stewart won the shootout last Sunday, also the IROC race on Friday. On the inside of row 4, Kenny Schrader always runs well, as he said, and Jerry Nadeau, he was 6th here in July.
The first Ford in the field is Ricky Rudds in row number 5, making his 25th Daytona 500 start, and Bobby Labonte, the 2000 Series champion, with him. The 6th row is Terry Labonte, never won at Daytona in 46 races, and Robbie Gordon won the last race of last season.
On the inside of row 7, Sterling Marlin won the 500 2 years in a row, 94 and 1995. And Dave Marcus, we saw him just a moment ago, his 33rd and final 500. Kurt Busch on the inside of row 8, alongside Petty driver John Andretti.
2 of the 3 Wallace brothers in the race share row number 9. It's Mike Wallace and Kenny Wallace. Kenny driving for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. The 10th row, it's Ward Burton, led a quarter of last year's race, but wound up in a big wreck near the finish. And Mike Skinner in a 2-time Daytona 500 winning car. On the inside of row 11 is Dale Jarrett. The UPS Ford has won this 500 3 times. Let's try to talk to him. Dale Jarrett, Benny Parsons, you got me?
I was looking compared to other people after a couple pit stops. Got you, Benny.
All right, DJ, you won this thing 3 times. Can you make it 4 today?
Well, we've got that opportunity, thanks to NASCAR helping the Fords out this week to make us more competitive. Now we just have to do everything right. We have to have probably a perfect day, but that's what we're looking to have. Got to get myself in the right position for those last 50 miles. That's what really counts.
Where is the right position? In front?
Yeah, I'd like to be in front. I'm not sure how much a Ford can lead, though, so I might want to try to find myself in 2nd or 3rd when we get down to that point to where we can start kind of shaking things out there at the end and then try to put this UPS Ford right in the front at the very end.
Good luck to you, DJ.
Thank you.
Dale Jarrett starting in row number 11. 3 drivers will have to go to the back of the pack because they are in backup cars. Their primary machines damaged in practice in the qualifying races too badly to start this race. They are Rusty Wallace, Dave Blaney, and Shauna Robinson. Looking at the rest of the field, Elliott Sadler in the Wood Brothers car making its 43rd start in the 500 in 44 races here. Maine's Ricky Craven starts last on the field. 10 drivers failed to qualify for the 500. Most notably among them, Hut Strickland, Jimmy Spencer, and Buckshot Jones. 3 fully sponsored teams who will compete for the championship this year. Heartbreak for them not being in the sport's biggest race.
And it's almost impossible to compete for the championship after missing the race. Kevin Harvick last year missed the Daytona 500, did not drive the car, finished 9th in final Winston Cup point standings, and I think that's about as good as it gets.
1 lap from the start of the Daytona 500 to pit road and Matt Yoakum.
Alan, while veteran Dave Marcus makes his 33rd and final Daytona 500, sophomore Kevin Harvick makes his first run here in the Great American Race. He told me this morning his biggest concern is actually getting other drivers to go with him with his lack of experience. He only has 3 other plate appearances last season. He has talked to Tony Stewart and to Michael Waltrip. They have worked out some sort of deals, but deals are only as good as they're written on, and nobody writes anything down. One good thing about Stewart, they're pitted right next to each other. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, in Thursday's qualifying races, Roush Racing had 5 engines in that race, and they lost due to failure 3 of those engines. So Friday night, they rented an airplane hangar, rebuilt all of their race engines for today's race. There are some nervous people in the Roush camp today because they didn't get practice yesterday to test out those race engines. Today, Burns.
Marty, Dale Earnhardt was great here in Daytona, but one of his good friends has been the best driver in the last 10 races here, including the July races. That driver, Rusty Wallace. His average finish, 9.3. It's been very, very good, but Rusty's never won this race, and he's hoping today, in his 20th try, he can make it to victory lane. Alan?
All right, Dave, less than half a lap from the green flag in the Daytona 500. Perfect weather conditions.
Yes, it is. And we saw Elliott Sadler. This is Mark Martin. Oh, man, these guys right now just thinking about what can we do. I need to get a good start because these first few laps are important. On fresh tires, you can do something. After 20, 30 laps, it's going to be harder and harder to pass.
You're right, BP. You'll see a lot of guys probably in the middle here for the first 10 or 15 laps. But then after that, get some tire wear on your tires. You do not want to be in the middle.
And Mike Wallace looks like his car is stalled in turn 3. It is.
Wallace was scheduled to start 17th, and the start has been waved off to clear his car from the track.
Marty, what's going on?
Well, they had problems cranking it at the beginning when they gave the command to start the engines, Benny, and he said it just shut off, and it won't turn over right now, and I believe they're going to go green without Mike Wallace.
Going to be 1 to go, and they come to the start-finish line, which means the green flag will be next time by. A tow truck has been dispatched to push Mike Wallace back to the pit area. How about that? 10 days of being here, 2 months of preparation. Something goes wrong before you even get the green flag.
How crushing is that?
He's trying to bump start it right there. You see, it looks like he may have the motor running. And Jay Leno got an extra lap in front of the field. There's Andy Petrie, the team owner of that 33 car.
And you can see him holding his head and thinking, what in the world could be going wrong?
But I see that car running, BP, so he did get a bump started. The question is, how long will it run? If they had trouble cranking it and it's quit on him already, well, he's going to stay on the track. Try and join the end of the field for the start. And that's probably a good place to start, because if he does have problems, he doesn't want to be where he was. Marty?
Well, what they think has happened, Alan, is the main ignition has gone bad, and they're on the secondary ignition now. And I'm going to try to get a word with Andy Petrie as soon as he solves this issue. Let's see if we can get a word with Andy real quickly. Andy, any idea what it is?
It looks like an ignition switch or something. It could have hit it with his foot getting in or whatever, but it's broken the end of the switch off. And then what happened was it went to the secondary ignition and it got mixed up on the steering wheel switch, the cutoff switch, and couldn't get it to start. Finally got it going, but man, it's a real tough break right now.
They thought it might have been a short earlier, but it does appear to be the primary ignition switch has gone bad on Mike Wallace's car.
$1.50 part on a $100,000 race car.